Bevor wir zur Sache kommen, möchte ich kurz die Agenda vorstellen und danach 2 Worte über unsere Firma, also All for One Polen, sagen. Also heute treffen wir uns, um über die polnische Besonderheiten ein bisschen zu sprechen. Also wir möchten auf jeden Fall unsere Add-ons für die polnische Besonderheiten Ihnen darstellen und haben wir 4 von denen geplant. Also das sind die wichtigsten, die man in Anspruch nimmt, wenn man die Niederlassung in Polen öffnen möchte. Okay, können wir starten, Szymon? Wir sind ein Marktführer auf dem SAP-Dienstleistungsmarkt in Polen. Seit über 25 Jahren, ehemals SNP Polen, bis 2017 als BCC, bieten wir ein umfassendes Spektrum an Implementierung, Entwicklung und Wartung von SAP-Systemen. Wir bieten auch IT-Sicherheits- und Softwareentwicklungsdienste an. Also wir verfügen über 470 Leute in der Firma, davon 250 SAP-Berater. Szymon? Für internationale Unternehmen, die Corporate SAP Template verwenden, bieten wir Unterstützung bei SAP Rollouts-Programme in jedem Umfang in Europa und weltweit. Wir stellen die Kompatibilität von SAP-Systemen mit den Unternehmensanforderungen und Bedürfnissen der Niederlassungen in jedem Land sicher. Um die Anforderungen von unseren polnischen und ausländischen Kunden gewährt zu werden, bauen wir seit mehreren Jahren unsere Add-ons für verschiedene Betriebsbereiche, die die Umsetzung der polnischen Rechtsvorschriften in der täglichen Arbeit des Unternehmens erleichtern sollten. Also wir verfügen über 50 solchen Lösungen, die mit SAP ECC und S4HANA zuständig sind. Heute konzentrieren wir mehr auf die finanzielle Lösungen. Szymon? Auf der Folie zeigen wir die polnische Besonderheiten, also das, was für den Markt wichtig ist. Da sind viele Elemente, aber das wichtige Element der polnischen Besonderheiten im Finanzbereich ist natürlich die Steuerregelung. Also in Polen gibt es mehrere Mehrwertsteuer, deren Anwendung von der Art des getätigten Verkaufs abhängt. Die Meldung der Steuerdaten ist in Form einer Datei mit vereinbarter Strukturen erforderlich, in der der Steuerzahler verpflichtet ist, Steuerbücher und Buchhaltungsunterlagen auf Anfrage der Steuerbehörde vorzulegen. Also diese anspruchsvolle Anforderung wird durch unser JPK, also Steuereinheitsdatei, unterstützt, das von über 200 Unternehmen in Polen verwendet wird. Also es ist Es ist hervorzuheben, dass ab 2023 haben wir eine neue Anforderung, also ab 2023 sind Unternehmen verpflichtet, Rechnungen elektronisch in den vom Finanzministerium erwarteten geeigneten Format an das nationale E-Rechnungssystem zu senden. Also für diese neue Anforderung haben wir auch eine Lösung schon vorbereitet und mein Kollege wird erzählt darüber ein bisschen später. Können wir weitergehen? Szymon? Okay, die lokale Besonderheit Polens betrifft nicht nur Finanzbereich. Also wenn man plant, das System in Polen einzuführen, lohnt es sich, die Hilfe des SD-Beraters in Anspruch nehmen. Also das, was sehr oft Schwierigkeiten macht, das ist das Erstellen einer Korrekturrechnung und Korrektoren der Korrektorenrechnungen. Das ist ein schwer verständliches Thema, aber das für den Betrieb in Polen sehr wichtig. Deshalb unterstützen wir Ihnen sehr gern bei diesen Einführungen, bei solchen Einführungen. Ich möchte auch erwähnen, dass das Bereich HR ist immer lokal. Deshalb verwundert sich nicht, wenn man in diesem Bereich sehr viele Add-ons auch baut, weil alle Anforderungen immer lokal sind. Szymon? In der Tabelle haben wir die wichtigsten Add-ons von All for One Polen dargestellt. Also außer die finanzielle Add-ons, also die Standard Audit-File, weiße Liste oder Zahlungsstockungen, die wir gleich besprechen, haben wir auch andere Lösungen. Also wir können Medizinunternehmen in der Überwachung des Vertriebs von Arzneimitteln unterstützen. Wir können auch Lebensmittelunternehmen bei der Erhebung und Meldung von Abgaben auf zuckerhaltige Getränke und auf alkoholische Getränke in Einzelpackungen bis 300 Milliliter. Das ist sogenannte Zuckersteuer in Polen, die ab 2001 verpflichtet ist. Alle Unternehmen, alle Firmen, die in Polen SAP HR im Einsatz haben, können wir mit Mitarbeiterkapitalplänen unterstützen. Also dafür haben wir unser Produkt All for One PPK, das von 2018 pflichtig ist. Also das ist alles von meiner Seite. Also ich möchte mich für die Aufmerksamkeit bedanken und ich übergebe das Wort an meinen Kollegen, an Szymon Chmielewski. Szymon, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Eva. Good morning, everyone. Szymon Chmielewski. I'm financial product owner and senior finance consultant. And today I would like to invite you for a short journey. It's going to be about 40-50 minutes with me. Within this journey, I will present you 4 of our products that helping Polish entities, mostly Polish entities here in Poland. We will start with standard audit file for tax purposes. It is going to be called SAF-T. As well, it's in Polish, it's going to be abbreviation for the JPK. It's very often called JPK. Even if you go through the SAP notes, you will see that there is a JPK abbreviation used many times. So what it is and why we have created our products. As you have heard that we have a lot of more than 50 add-ons to Polish, which we can recommend to Polish entities. Usually they respond for some changes in the law, in the regulations that we have the problems with. And one of this is the standard audit file. Poland was not the first country that introduced the standard audit file for tax purposes. As far as I remember, the first one was Portugal, which was succeed, and the taxes, they were paying higher taxes. And in 2016, our Ministry of Finance and our government also have introduced the standard audit file, but it is a little bit different than in the other countries. We have very similar stuff, but as in other countries, for example, the standard audit file, VAT verification, or this e-invoicing, but in Poland it's always a little bit more complicated. They require a lot of more information than in other countries. So this is how we come with our help. So yes, this development started in 2016, and every year there is some changes to this. There is structural changes as well. There are new demands of new data. They have to be reported to the Ministry of Finance. What is the goal for the standard audit file? To enable tax authorities to obtain the data in the electronic version. It should came with the goal of the faster and more effective verification of any irregularities if they exist. When we talk about the standard audit file, we should consider the following structures. The main one is the VAT, which has to be sent every month, 25th, the day of the following month. And the rest of the structures, like accounting books, bank statements, warehouses, sales invoices, and RR invoices, there are on demand. So the Ministry of Finance, the tax authorities could come to entity in Poland and request, for example, accounting books for 2021 for the whole year, and the bank statements for some other period. Our products are developed in our namespace, which is very crucial to be said at the very beginning. So we do not change anything in the customizing that you have in your SAP system. We take it as it is, and we eventually adjust our solution to meet your requirements and your customizing. So we eventually might propose some kind of the changes after the analysis we will do with the key users, but usually we take it as it is. So it's does not require any changes in the client's customizing of the system. We have over 200 implementations of our solution, so it's a proven solution. This was well tested. There is a lot of those implementations. There are group licenses. So there is, for example, 50 companies within this one implementation. So it comes with the hundreds and hundreds of the implementations. So we gathered a lot of experience on this. We have implemented all of those 6 structures. The one of the structure is not very popular because it's only for agricultural purchases from the farmers. So it's not that much popular, but the rest, yes, they are on demand of any single entity in Poland. Since 2016, we are still developing our solution. We are changing this just to keep it up to date, but our updates not only about the update that Ministry of Finance have released a new version, for example, of the structure. For example, from tomorrow there will be a new structure for the sales invoices, and Ministry of Finance have published a new structure just a month ago. And 2 weeks ago we have published also an update. So after two weeks of the presentation by the Ministry of Finance, we have released an update to this invoice structure, and our clients are ready to be able from tomorrow to generate a new structure. But not only those kind of the improvements we are implementing in our solution, we also, for example, giving a new functionalities. And if we see that something could be improved, we're also doing that. In 2018, it was a lot of development done. So after 2 years after this, after the beginning of this journey with the standard audit file in Poland, we have changed our solution to be able to generate one of the biggest JPK files that even be a couple of gigabytes of the data. So we have speed up the process of the extraction of the data, and we are able to generate even the biggest files, which is several gigabytes of the data. So this is very important for huge entities that we are able to get it in the one file that have to be submitted to the Ministry of Finance. It's worth also to say that we are not system dependent, so our solutions work as well as on ECC, on Simple Finance, and as well on S/4HANA. We have dedicated starting packages. So of course, if you're going to migrate from ECC to S/4HANA, we are going to send you an update to eliminate some tables and to a little bit change mostly the invoices part. That's correct. If you have any issues, any problems with our solution, our customers have possibility to send us a request ticket via our service desk. So all of our customers have a dedicated service desk account where they can simply say what's wrong, and we will trying to help them as fast as we can, of course. And it's also worth to say that our solutions, usually we have also some extensions that are could extend the possibilities of basic solution. For example, we're here, the basic solution of the standard audit file could help you to extract the data, analyze the data, validate the data, and create an XML file. And this is the basic thing that we need to do with this. However, for example, if you have external systems with some warehouses or billing systems, then we come with the Excel for JPK, which helps you to upload any data from the external system and to create one single file from both of those systems. And another thing, another two products worth to mention is the JPK Transfer Monitor, which helps you directly from the SAP send a file to the Ministry of Finance. So you do not need additional application to be for this transfer to the Ministry of Finance. And one which is very unique on the market, we call it a VAT change analyzer. It is a response to a regulation in our accounting act that if anything is going to change in your accounting books within 14 days, you should report this to the Ministry of Finance. So for example, as you know that in Poland, we could the taxes are not maybe that simple, that in all other countries, we could go back with the taxes and we have to make a lot of the corrections to the previous periods. And for example, if there is a huge entity or maybe not even that huge, and there are a lot of documents are posted through the system or maybe already some interfaces, so the tax department should verify every, for example, 14 days if they have any changes to the previous periods. So for example, right now, let's take a look if you have do any postings with the VAT concern to the December, October, and so on in the last year. So here we come with our response that we have VAT change analyzer that in the background every 14 days is going to be verifying your previous periods, and will report that to your organization, probably, for example, by email. I will show you that email later on. That you could have an information, yes, for example, for December 2021, you should send a correction. And end users very like this solution because it does not require additional verification of what was changed in the previous periods. It's done by the program. And how it works we are talking about this on-demand structures. So we have a general ledger, also known as accounting books, bank statements, warehouses, sales invoices. As you see, there is a lot of information that have to be extracted from the system. For example, the general ledger, we have accounting, we have a trial balance. Later on, we have also about every information about the document, who, when, what was the amount of the document, what was the document number, and also the values in the currency and in and in document currency as well. Yeah. Over here we go to the most important structure, which is the VAT one. It consists of two parts. One is the VAT declaration. Second one is the line items. We have prepared our dedicated customizing, which is easy to use also for our customers, that every single configuration that is required by the Ministry of Finance, for example, to determine document types or maybe a sales procedures, it is easy to be done by the end users. For example, that you have the related company transactions. There is a mark, this is a special mark that have to be given, which is the TP. So our customers can simply go to the customizing and say, this is my customer, and please mark by the solution TP mark for those customers. Of course, there is a lot of more characteristics based on the tax codes, maybe based on the general ledger account and so on. So maybe it could be even improved, not based on the single number, but maybe, for example, on the general ledger account. The same when it comes to material groups. For example, if you are going to sell alcoholic beverages or you sell some parts to vehicles, you could simply mark it based on, for example, a material, document type, maybe about the tax code, the same. It's very easy to use, easy to use this customizing. Of course, at the very beginning, we do the analysis. We do the analysis with the clients, with the business team. We know how to customize our solution, so we are going to prepare a concept. Later on, we do the implementation. So we do this initial customizing by us. Maybe sometimes there is even a development required if there is such a need. For example, for a long invoice number, there is usually some kind of the development needed. We do the internal testing before we release it to the clients. Here we see on the left our selection screen, which is very simple. You just need to once, because you can get it from the variant, you just simply map your tax codes, take it, the date, and that's it. And you will just be able to generate the data from the system. And here is one new remark that is worth to say: get the data from e-invoicing. Because there is a lot of fields that are in the e-invoice should be also the same on the VAT structure that have to be reported to the Ministry of Finance. So this is, we have, every time we see the possibilities that we can integrate our solutions, we're just doing that. So this is it. It's simply you don't need to go all of this stuff over here. You will implement the e-invoicing and simply get all of this information from this e-invoice. Later on, we usually do the training session with the client, and the testing of the client will be also done as well. Later, at the very end, we go with of course, with the go live support and so on. I have to speed up a little bit. Good. So over here, after the selection screen, we see basically two things, which is the most important. You see that over here is the VAT, the report, more or less the same as in the standard, the VAT register. You see the document number, invoice number, some very crucial dates. For example, date of the receipt of the invoice. The date of the receipt of the invoice is very, very crucial. It's usually not updated properly in the system, but it is needed. Vendor name, of course, and customer as well. But you have seen that there is a lot of marks that have to be done based on single document, like if you sell, like I said, alcoholic beverages, if sell waste, electronic parts, or maybe vehicle parts, you have to simply say yes, on this invoice we do this, we have those products. So we simply, based on our customizing, are creating this table so end users can easily, of course, it can be downloaded to the Excel file and so on, and it's easily to be verified very, very easy by the end users. And the second product that we have here, it is, maybe before that, I will very short go to the system and show you one thing. Yeah, which I would just do that. As I said, that we have a solution that is VAT change analyzer that helps you to verify information if anything has been changed in the system. So you can plan cyclic, for example, every 14 days, retrieve an email, yes, get an email sent to me, for example. So there will be a background job created, which will send email to me that yes, if you have do any kind of the corrections for the previous periods or not. And I will ask the system to generate correction. Here we can simply give a reason for the correction. It's a 3,500 digits over here, and every time I know which period is the best for this kind of the analysis. It's 2 years ago when I have done a lot of the testing for this period, and the system knows which another JPK file should be verified. So it will create a new file and it will compare it with the last sent to the Ministry of Finance, and it will always get the current variant from the selection screen. So the end user, they are going to change the variants, so it will take the current variant as the end user. For example, they could do that. I know that this selection screen is not correct, so I will just simply make it right. Good. So there's a very simple selection screen. Compare it to the always get the newest version. Yes, I'll just do the comparison right now. Yes, saved. Good. I would like to be here, get customizing. Good. And let's just run it. Okay, I have planned the job because I would like to execute it right now. Sorry for that. Go here. Good. So now with this Excel for JPK works, of course, that I have said that I can upload some information. Email has been sent, and we see the whole comparison done by the system. So for example, this document's number, it used to be 441, but it has been changed. Yes. So for example, over here, there is a new document posted in this period. This is a new document posted in this period. Also, all of those marks, they have been changed in the customizing. Maybe someone do the correction in the customizing. So it used to be empty, but the correct is true value. Yes, so everything is done here by the system. Here, for example, we forgot about the tax ID number, and the system is creating a correction. No, it should be a German. Yes, it should be a German VAT number. So every single change is here. It's also reported. Yeah, I will not wait for this email right now. I'll just simply show it to you. You got an email that I have sent it in Polish. The email is unfortunately right now sent it in Polish. It could be, of course, changed. That's 73 line items have been changed. 5 line items have been deleted. 2 line items have been added. You can simply go and open it, and you will be directly go to the report. Good. I will come back to the presentation. Go back to the presentation. Please give me a second. Good. VAT whitelist and VES European Union verification. This is the solution what we are calling a partner checker. Partner checker also is a response for some change from the Ministry of Finance. They require from Polish entities to verify each vendor, mostly the vendors, on some kind of the database. So in 2019, they have created a database which is called the whitelist. And on this whitelist, you have the VAT status. So it was active, suspended, or not active. The bank accounts are also on this list. Of course, there is a name and some identification number. And this solution also connects to the VS database for any other European Union counterpart that you might have. So we are going to check in this European Union database, of course, only the VAT active or not, if they are VAT active or not. But how it is? So on the selection screen, that you simply can check all of your vendors, customers, or business partners if you have S/4HANA system. There is two methods. There is a search method and there is a check method. Check method is usually it is verifying only the combination of tax ID and the bank account. So you need a combination, but within the search you get a lot of more information. So you will also retrieve an ID from the Ministry of Finance side that you have done this verification. So this is very crucial for the end users, because if you go to website of the Ministry of Finance, at the end, if you do this manual verification, at the end of this page, you will see the ID of the verification, and it could only be done here. When you do the search in Czech, sometimes yes, but it's more a little bit, this is for longer story. But for search, yes, usually here you have this ID, which is the confirmation that you have done this check. Of course, you can check manually your databases, you can schedule it, you can check your standard audit file over here, but the most crucial is the implementation in the processes. So the most crucial is to verify the bank account that your entity is going to be paying before you do the payment. So if you have the payment, you should check it before you are going to post it, and of course transmit it to the bank state, to the banks. Yes, so check the payment proposals before you do the postings. You would like not to deal with maybe someone who is suspended from taxes or excluded. Maybe before you create a purchase, even before you create a purchase order, you would like to verify your counterparty. Before you creating a customer vendor, and many more, if any places in the system you would like to have this verification, you could do that. Here we have some screens that this is a yes. So for example, Turkey, Great Britain, this is outside of EU. There is also some tax exempt countries, some tax exempt numbers. Here we have the information. Yes, they are not active, and some of them are active. Here we have also information about the bank account, and the system is doing the verification. Yes, this bank account is not assigned to the whitelist. Yes, and here you see this is the ID that usually the end users would like to see. Not only that, yes, check have been done, but what is the ID? If the Ministry of Finance or some tax authorities is going to come to us, how did you check that? So you simply see, okay, this is my ID. You are sending them. This is ID or response from your system, and all of the history is here in the system that you have it. Here we have also this information about payment check. Payment check. Here I have the selection screen. Of course, you can check only the payments in the Polish zloty, and you can limit it to some customers and vendors. But here you have the verification. You will do the payment. You see also the ID to this bank account, to this VAT ID number, and those bank accounts are not assigned. So maybe you should block it for later processing in the payment proposal. And this payment, of course, could be done. This payment block could be simply done by the system. Good. Yes. Payment backlogs. This is well, it's a little bit of history. So a standard audit file, we have implemented this. We have introduced this in 2016. This VAT verification was first it was in 2017, where we have only this VAT verification. In 2019, it was changed also to this bank accounts change. So they have extended the database with the bank accounts. So that was a huge change in 2019. But in 2020, there was a new regulation which should help most of it. What is the goal of it? That should help smaller entities to get payment faster from the bigger corporations. So, for example, there is a maximum period which you could give on the invoice, and the Ministry of Finance, they would like to see if those huge entities, they are doing that. So if they are paying in the correct period, so for example, they are not postponing the payments. So this is it. This is the annual report on the payment practices. So if your entity is not paying on time and so on, and your counterpartners as well. And the second part of it, there is a relief for VAT. So for example, if you are not going to pay, or you are not going to be paid on time within 19 days, there is a possibility that you are going to deduct your taxes to get it back from the Ministry of Finance. Yes, later on, of course, if the payment will be done, you will still need to pay that, but you can get a kind of the relief from the taxes. Good. As I said, so there was in the end of 2019. Later on, it comes into force for 2020. So the first cent was last year in 2021. So this is the documents from the Ministry of Finance, and here we have this bad debt relief. So if you have 90 days. Yeah, you could deduct your taxes or make a correction to lower your deducted. If you are not paying for 90 days, you have also made you need to also make this correction on your liabilities as well. So it's not only for creditors, it's for debtors as well. If you are not going to pay in 90 days, you should check your payments, and maybe you should do a correction of your VAT. So here it comes. It's also usually our solutions are as easy to use as possible, as it is possible. At the beginning, we have the training. We have all those training sessions recorded. It's later for you. We have general trainings, user trainings, dedicated for each of the companies. Of course, every time we are releasing an update. For example, for standard audit file, if it's a huge change, for example, a new button is going to appear on the selection screen, or there is a change in structure, we are doing a training sessions for end user just to get to see from our point of view what is changed and how to maybe verify this change if it's applicable to your entity. So we are doing this training session as well. So simply you just give, okay, classify my debt, my liabilities, my receivables for the bad debt. You give a company code, and you will get a list. You will get a list of documents that are classified, that are not paid on time. You will see the amounts, when it was posted, what was of course the document number, and here we have a two code. Here is an original document, original invoice, and later on we have two columns also with some documents. So first of all, you are going to post. First of all, you are going to post this relief or deduct your or make lower your deductible taxes, yes, if it comes from the liabilities. So the first column is for the correction, and later on, when you do the payment, or when you are going to receive the payment, you will do the reverse of this correction, yes. So everything's in the simple screen. It could be automated and be classified, and the end user, we have the whole overview, and do not have every month to take a look, okay, if we can deduct some taxes, maybe we should do that, because it's a lot of money to just do not pay those amount of the taxes. Of course, everything here is customizing. Maybe sometimes it's requires some additional programming, but you can simply say how you would like to be posting those documents. For example, as you could see, there is a documents posted, so you would like not to have changed you would like not to change the turnovers with your customers. So maybe you should create a dedicated accounts for that. Everything will be done based on the analysis, and we will recommend how it should be posted and so on. And the second part of it is the annual report on the payment practices. Our solution, of course, do this report for you. It's also a kind of the customizing, sometimes it's a little bit of the development. In our solutions, we are creating packages of the payments. So for example, if you have any kind of the compensations, or maybe you have any kind of the partial payments, yes, our solution do everything with that. So we're trying to cover all of the possibilities that you might have within the reconciliation of the documents, not only the document and the simple posting of on the bank account, but yes, we are trying to do this a little bit more complicated reconciliation of the clearing of the documents as well. So our solution doing the packages and trying to investigate how it was posted and which year it was also posted. So again, there is a very simple selection screen, very similar to the bed depth that we have seen on the previous screen. We have a lot of information at sea. So at the end, it comes that your end user have to log into some website from the Ministry of Finance on the government side, and they have to give all of the information, of course, about your entity and those percentage. Yes, this is the most crucial thing, those percentages. But those percentage, it comes from this verification. Yes, so just to be clear how it was calculated, end users could go down, with this down analysis, and we saw on the very beginning, you see the groups. That is single invoice, it was cleared by the corrections, or it was a payment not cleared with anything yet. So maybe it should be considered in another way. So on this simple screen, end user could verify what was wrong and how those values were calculated. Yes, so there is a lot of analysis possible, and this is this is the biggest advantage that we have, that from other solutions, that we go with down analysis, and it's easy also to be verified by end users. And here we come, the last minutes. We will talk about the e-invoicing in Poland. In Polish, we'll call it also KSeF, which is in Polish Krajowy System Faktur. And yes, as I said on the very beginning, that our law is a little bit more tricky than in other countries. For example, as far as I know, there is less than 100 fields in e-invoice in Spain. However, when we are going to talk about this e-invoice in Poland, there is more than 350 fields that have to be mapped. Of course, some of them they are not required every time. But yes, if you are automotive industry, then yes, there is a lot of information that should be presented on this e-invoice, yes, or could be. Because there is this is also worth to mention that now in 2022 it is voluntary accession to the system, so you can, but you do not have to send your invoices within this portal from the Ministry of Finance. Within this year also you need an acceptance from your customer that they will also download the invoices from the system. And as far as I know, there is not so many entities which actually are using this right now with Productive. However, next year this is going to be mandatory. So there is also a news from yesterday from the website of the Ministry of Finance that they have published an announcement that European Commission they gave a green light to go with it in 2023. So yes, now they said that they will do some changes to make it obligatory. So there will be a new law, new document will be published from the Ministry of Finance, of course. But yes, it will be mandatory from 2023. And they have a green light from the European Union. So yes, there is a test API from October 2021. And what's also important, that how it works. So our system is a little bit combination of Italy and Spain, in my opinion. So from your system, you'll be required to send an XML file to the Ministry of Finance, and your customers will be able to download those invoices also in the same structured way. So this is, you are not going to send those invoices through an email or maybe by paper still, but it will require to go, the e-invoice go through the system. Yes, so there is only way that it will be possible to distribute all of the invoices that will be created since next year. Every invoice will be assigned with ID, so you will have your own invoice number, but will be another one given by the Ministry of Finance, and there will be also two new dates, which are for taxes. They are very important. The date, so for example, now you are saying that you are creating an invoice today, but if you are going to send it tomorrow, then the invoice date creation, it will not be March, but it will be April. So yes, so you see that there will be a new date, the date of initialization of the sending of the invoice, and also the very important date, the date when the Ministry of Finance is going to give you this special ID, yeah, this special ID. So I like to say here about a couple of words about why we have chosen this kind of the architecture, which is not direct connection from your SAP to the Ministry of Finance. Why we have this middleware in this middleware here, our hub. As you probably can imagine, that we are constantly learning something new. We have also a lot of experience based on our previous products that I have shown to you. Standard audit file. I have also told you about the transferring of this file, JPK transfer monitor. I have also said you about this whitelist verification that could be done. And here it's worth to say that the transfer monitor, it is on-premise solution. So you will receive a SAP part, the same as it here. So this kind of the transaction in SAP that will help you to proceed, to do the signature and send the file to the Ministry of Finance. But you in the transfer, you would also get from us a Java application, which is responsible for the transmission to the Ministry of Finance. So this is on-premise solution. So anything is going to be changed in the Ministry of Finance side. They are going to change API, new structure is going to be released, maybe the certificates, they are going to be changed. So what we are doing, we are sending an update for this Java application, and it have to be done by customer, usually if we are not hosting the system, by the customer IT. They have to proceed with this there is a lot of updates. Yes, there is a lot of updates to be done. It's not changing very often, but it's changing. For example, last month there was a new certificates and so on. So we are releasing it to the customers. And for example, there is hundreds also clients who are using our transfer monitor, but in some cases that someone is, for example, on vacation, someone maybe just forgot to test it. As you remember that you have to send them this VAT structure once a month, 25th day of the following month to the Ministry of Finance. But that time you see that maybe the update was not done. Something has changed in your own infrastructure. For example, new firewall, new authorizations, new proxy, maybe new user needs an access. So there is a lot of problems with this on-premise. So there is a lot of changes that might happen that is giving us, there is a lot of complications that might happen, and which are not dependent from us. Then the IT of our customers, they have also do some changes, new authorizations, maybe certificates, maybe Java update, and so on. So there is a lot of the IT of the team. So we will try to omit that. And in the partner checker, so this is the whitelist check there is online verification. So for example, our customers are verifying their payments right now. They will do this in 1 hour, 2 hours, every minute they can do this verification, and it goes through our hub. So anytime if Ministry of Finance, they are going to change something in the database of the whitelist, they're going to change certificates, we are updating our hub, and this connection from your system to our hub, is almost, there is no changes required. Yes, of course, once a year we are going to send you a new certificates just to be sure that you are still the same. But you know, anything that is changing here does not require changing on side of the Ministry of Finance. Yes, it's not required from the change, not change required from your IT architecture team. So this is on this e-invoice. We also would like to use the same architecture within our hub. We do not store any data. So we do not store those invoices in our hub. We are just transmitting them. So imagine, if you would like to have smooth sending of those invoices to the Ministry of Finance within our hub, it does not require your IT to be ready on every time if something is going to change by the Ministry of Finance. You are going to see that on the next screen. On the next screen you will see that this year there was already 6 changes on the Ministry of Finance side. So there is a lot, and this is might happen in future as well. So every time Ministry of Finance they are going to any change here, we are updating our hub, and the connection your system to our hub will remain the same and will remain safe. There is a couple possibilities of authorization. We recommend to use the token authorization, so the end user will not be obliged to give every time the signature, and it will be automatically signed by the token and transmitted to the Ministry of Finance. Of course, you can go and see the whole webinar about this product on our YouTube channel. There you will see how to create an invoice, post it, create e-invoice, send it, and receive it, of course. If you have any additional systems, I will speed up a bit, sorry. If you have any additional sales system, we could help you with our mapper, and you do not have to transmit this. We can help you, of course, with any other system, sales system that you might have. Yes, with this transmitting to the e-invoice to this portal. We could, of course, connect it with ADI. We have also a lot of more extension possibilities. So when it comes to the purchase invoices, you can just simply benefit from this, because we can download those invoices and help you with posting those invoices. Yes, because it will be structured, so we can simply download all of those invoices and kind of help you with posting those invoices, which will speed up for incoming invoices. There is a lot of changes. Like I said, the structure is very complicated, very detailed, 350 fields that have to be mapped. For example, on this side, if it was paid, when it was paid the invoice before, for example, if you had done the prepayment, maybe it was a partial payment, what was the factor, bank account, who was responsible for the transport, when was done the transport, from where, and so on. So there is a lot of information. And here we come with our cockpit to just simply see this. So over here you have the company code. There is 195 invoices. You could go to the selections. We have automatic done the verification. The validation is here. You see the status, when it was sent, when was done, when it was given the number. Please give me a little 5 more minutes, and I would finish. Yes, I know it's coming to the end. I would need more 5 minutes. So there is an initial date of the sending. There is this ID given by the Ministry of Finance, and here we have the date when it was given this number. Usually now it is about maybe a second. It's maybe 5 seconds, as you can see here, a second. It used to be up to 5 minutes, but now it comes very, very fast. So you see the status of the validation, when it was done. There is a main toolbar. You could simply go to our service desk to report, for example, some changes that you would like to have. Here is a positive scenario that yes, document was created, validation has no errors, it's sent, when it was sending, and that you see the whole log for each invoice. You can simply do selection. A lot of selection is possible in the FI characteristics, SD document characteristics. The status, of course, you can simply check which status that you are looking for. We can of course help you with kind of the reports we can create for you as well. And if this invoice is not in the XML file, it's not nice it's not that easy to read for the end user. We come here with our form. So over here you see that we have this navigation on the XML file. We have everything we do, it's in Polish as well as in English, of course, all of the documentations and so on. Here we have the line items of this XML file, and you see there is the same information that, for example, the date of the complete of the delivery, what was the name of the goods of the services, what was the quantity. You do not need to know those fields. You will simply see that and know that from our form. The same here. Do we have correction to another invoice? Yes, there is a reason. Yes, a reason for correction. And here we have the correction number, your number from the system, but you need also give the information about the invoice number given by the Minister of Finance. We are covering all of this stuff within our solution. So I would like to come to with this summary. I will come with the summary. All of our products, they are developed in our namespace, that I said at the very beginning. So we do not need any change in your processes. We take it as it is, and maybe we will just recommend some changes. Yes, if we see that something could be improved. Another important thing is that we have, for all of our products, we have a maintenance. So the clients, our products will be up to date. Usually we are also trying to be as fast as possible with our updates. So as like I said, there is a new structure for standard audit file from tomorrow, and it was published last month. And now 2 weeks after publication, we were ready with the update, and our clients are stay safe. They are ready. The same for any other solution. We have provided the maintenance to keep up to date. Our solutions are pre-configured, so we do not start from the scratch. We will just adjust our solution to meet your needs. Like I said, everything is Polish and English as well, documentation, training session, programs, and so on. And yes, at the end, I would like to say that all of our products are just user-friendly. That's very, very crucial. That you don't even need a manual and the instruction. You will just simply know how to use it, because it is VAT dates and you go through. There is no more needed, no more information needed to just do that. Generate, and that's it. So we are trying to do this as easy as possible. Of course, everywhere in our products there are help, like you see on the customizing. There is a help, there is a manual, there is training session. As I said, every time you have a huge change, for example, the structure, we do that. And yes, at the very end, I would like to say that we could handle almost all legal changes that are vital in Poland. We are constantly improving our solution, and often we are first on the market with proposal to our clients. And the same for the e-invoice. We have started with the first publication was in the May last year. Yes. Good. So I think if we have some time for the questions, maybe yes, there is a 1 minute after. So maybe do you have any questions?
Okay, Shivan, thank you very much for your demonstration. We have some questions, but unfortunately no more time left. But we promised to give the answers to you. Also wir haben einige Fragen bei uns eingegangen, aber wir haben leider keine Zeit mehr. Wir versprechen Ihnen, dass wir Ihnen die Fragen dann im Nachgang per E-Mail beantworten. Vielen Dank an euch. Many thanks, Shimon and Eva, for the demonstration. Vielen Dank an Sie, meine Damen und Herren, dass Sie heute dabei waren und so treu die Stange gehalten haben. Ich sehe es im Teilnehmerfeld, fast die meisten sind noch dabei geblieben. Wie bereits versprochen, die Aufzeichnung und die Kontaktdaten bekommen Sie von uns zugeschickt und wie bereits erwähnt auch die Antworten zu den noch offenen Fragen, die bei uns eingegangen sind. Vielen Dank, dass Sie dabei waren. Ich wünsche Ihnen noch einen angenehmen Tag, eine angenehme Woche und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Vielen Dank, schönen Tag. Tschüss.
Thank you, bye. Tschüss.